Warning: the following video contains information about the murder and actions of a heinous and depraved individual. Viewer discretion is advised.
She left her poor daughter who had Down syndrome to decay and fester. When police found the poor girl, she died from a skin wasting disease. It was so bad that when the police tried to peel the clothes off her, the skin come away with the clothing. Hello true crime fans and welcome to Behind the Yellow Tape. Today we're talking about a case that isn't just a tragedy, it's a systematic failure of the most basic human instinct, the instinct to protect our children. We're looking at the life and death of Debbie Leitch. Debbie was 24 years old. She had Down syndrome. She was petite, barely 4 foot 10 inches, and by all accounts from those who knew her earlier in her life, she was full of life. Back in 2016, when the family lived in Leeds, Debbie was healthy, weighing around 10 stone. She loved music, she loved being around people, and she had this infectious energy. But by August 2019, that light had been completely and quite literally starved out of her. Debbie lived in Blackpool with her mum, Elaine Clark. Elaine wasn't just her mum, she was her paid carer. She was receiving government benefits, about £215 a week, specifically to ensure Debbie was fed, bathed and safe. But when paramedics were finally called to their home on Garden Terrace on the 29th of August, they walked into a scene that veteran investigators later described as truly horrific. They found poor Debbie in an upstairs bedroom. She was unrecognisable. She only weighed 3 stone. For context, that is the average weight of a 9-year-old child. But it wasn't just the starvation. The room was filthy, covered in waste and infested with live maggots. An autopsy later revealed that Debbie had died from severe emaciation and an extensive skin infection called Norwegian scabies. This is a condition that is entirely treatable with basic hygiene and cream, but because it was left ignored, it became a skin wasting disease that caused her hair to fall out and her skin to stick to her clothes. When the paramedics tried to help her, bits of her skin actually come away with her clothing. What makes this case so gut-wrenching is the deception. While Debbie was wasting away in a room that reportedly smelled of decay, her mum was living a completely different life. She was going out to the pub, seeing her boyfriend, and even buying herself new handbags and shoes with the money meant for Debbie's care. She told family members that Debbie was doing just fine, or she was just being lazy and staying in bed. When her own sister and niece visited and expressed horror at Debbie's appearance, Elaine simply brushed them off and blocked their access. She even managed to manipulate the system. Social workers and GPs visited the home, but Elaine practiced what investigators called disguised compliance. She would clean up just enough or make excuses to keep them from going upstairs. In one instance, a social worker was told Debbie was refusing to see anyone. In 2022, Eileen Clark was finally sentenced. She originally tried to plead not guilty, but the evidence of the prolonged period of abandonment was too overwhelming. She eventually pleaded guilty to gross negligence, manslaughter, and was sentenced to just 9 years and 7 months in prison. A later inquest in 2024 officially ruled that Debbie had been unlawfully killed, highlighting the missed opportunities by agencies that could have saved her. And this leaves us with a heavy question. How does a mother watch her daughter disappear into nothingness while she goes out for a drink? It's a reminder that sometimes the most dangerous place a vulnerable person can be is behind a closed door with the one person they are supposed to trust the most in the world. Thank you for listening today, and remember, stay behind the yellow tape.